News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
$50,000 bond for a Hamilton man charged with child sexual assault. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Wednesday, March 15th, 2017, the Ides of March. We have light rain and some fog in the Missoula area right now, 39 degrees. All roads around the area are bare and wet. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. This morning's top story, 61-year-old Alan Twardowski of Hamilton has been charged with 4 counts of sexual intercourse without consent, sexual assault, and sexual abuse of a child for allegedly molesting a 13-year-old girl in November of 2016. Ravalli County Attorney Bill Fulbright has details.
Mr. Twardowski has been charged with 4 separate sexual assaults on a girl that was 13 and 14 years old at the time. The common theme was taking the girl to an area where she trusted him, and he would pretend to teach her to drive the vehicle, these sorts of things, and it would give him an opportunity to sexually assault her.
Fulbright said Twardowski, if convicted on all counts, could spend the rest of his life in prison. 3
of the charges are sexual intercourse without consent. One of them is sexual assault, and one of them is sexual abuse of children. Because of the age of the victim and the age differences with this 61-year-old man is a potential of up to 100 years or life.
Twardowski appeared in Ravalli County Justice Court and was placed this week in jail on $50,000 bond. A 19-year-old Busby man has pleaded guilty to federal charges for failing to report what he knew about a fatal assault on a woman on the Crow Indian Reservation last spring. The Billings Gazette reports Frank James Sanchez pleaded guilty yesterday to failing to report a felony and being an accessory after the fact in the death of 28-year-old Roy Lynn Rideshorse. Sentencing is set for July 6th. Prosecutors say Sanchez initially denied being at the scene when Rideshorse was beaten, strangled, and set on fire on April 17th. About 2 weeks later, he acknowledged he had followed his brother's order to get a gas can out of the car and had kept some of the physical evidence. Rideshorse died at a Utah hospital on June 28th. DeMarzio Sanchez and 24-year-old Angelica Jo Whiteman of Billings have both pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder. Driving under the influence charges are a frequent occurrence in Missoula County, but over the past few weekends, Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh says the rate of DUI arrests has been spiking.
Well, it does seem as if we've been seeing a lot of DUI arrests during weekends in the last few weeks, and this past weekend was no exception. The Missoula Police Department arrested 8 persons for the offense of driving under the influence of alcohol and or drugs.
2 weekends ago, there were 12 DUI arrests, a trend that police fear may continue through the coming St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Typically, the holiday of St. Patrick's Day does associate with consumption of alcohol. And so, again, we are cautioning people to find designated drivers, use alternate forms of transportation, and get home alive. We are certainly going to be prepared for the alternative, however, and we will have officers out specifically looking for impaired drivers.
Welsh says the number of DUI arrests for Missoula is typically around 4 per weekend, but recent rates are double or even triple what law enforcement usually encounters. Authorities say an elderly man is dead after crashing his pickup through a yard in Billings, shearing the vehicle apart and sending a fence pole through the cab. The Billings Gazette reports the man's truck hopped the curb in multiple spots Tuesday and crashed into a chain-link fence, severely damaging the vehicle. No other vehicles were involved. Investigators have not said what caused the crash. The man's name and age have not yet been released. Ravalli County Sheriff Steve Holton said yesterday that an arrest has been made in a church burglary, vandalism, and forgery case. Holton said the burglary at the Corvallis Methodist Church occurred on March 3rd or 4th, and that 26-year-old Matthew McClune was arrested on the 10th.
The burglary happened sometime the night of the 3rd or early in the morning on March 4th, and we were made aware of it on the 5th. And Detective Scott Burlingham did some outstanding work on that, and we did arrest a suspect last Friday on the 10th. A 26-year-old male we're able to get some information on, and allegedly he had forged a check that he had stolen from that church.
Holton said the damage to the church was extensive enough to draw serious charges.
There was significant vandalism inside, a lot of spray paint, things broken, hymnals and Bibles torn up. He was charged with burglary, criminal
Bolton said the investigation is ongoing. Montana's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate fell 0.1 percentage point to 3.9% in January, the lowest rate in nearly a decade. Labor Commissioner Pam Busey says Montana added 2,700 payroll jobs in January, but with the loss of self-employed and agricultural jobs, the state lost 536 jobs. The number of private jobs increased by 3,100, but the number of public sector jobs fell by 400. Montana's unemployment rate was last at 3.9% in August of 2007. It was as low as 2.9% in February of 2007, just before the Great Recession began. The national unemployment rate increased by 0.1 percentage point to 4.8% in January. Montana's February unemployment rate will be released later on this month. A final analysis of 2016 numbers estimated Montana gained 6,500 jobs last year. 35-year-old Andy Drobeck has done it again. On Sunday, the Missoula City Fireman won the Seattle Stair Climb Challenge for the 6th straight year, racing up 69 stories of the Columbia Tower in just 10 minutes and 58 seconds. That's just off his 2012 record of 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Drobeck said about 2,000 firefighters from all over the country compete every year.
It's in full bunker gear, so boots and a coat and pants, and then you have to wear your SCBA too, which is just self-contained breathing apparatus, so it's just compressed air. And you go up, and then they do, it's all timed, and then it's a big fundraiser for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society as well.
Drobeck said he took 5th place in his first year, which just whetted his competitive appetite.
The course record I set in 2012, that was 10:38, and this year I was 10:58, and then the last kind of the years in between, I was pretty much in between that and right around 11, and it's just, I'm in just as good a shape now as I was 4 years ago, or every year really, but it's just little bits of time add up.
Drobeck said a fellow city fireman Ben Brunsvold was the number 2 finisher last year, came in 3rd this year. Andrew Burke came in 20th, and so those 3 times gave Missoula City Fire the team win, with 5 firemen placing in the top 100. Way to go, guys. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with a chance of rain. Daytime highs will be in the mid-50s. Tonight, areas of rain with our overnight lows in the mid-30s. Windy on Thursday with wind gusts topping out at 20 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.